Greetings, my friends, subscribers, and listeners. This is Real Action News Media, who bring you news, views, and reviews yard and abroad. I have a few stories I want to share with you today. Uh, Listen up. First story. This story is coming out of Britain, which is they call England, right? Workmen are being attacked by motorists as anger surge over Britain's bad roads due to the £19 billion backlog for potholes repair. Britain, as they call England, is a first class country where we expect there should be no such things as, potholes or bad roads. Those are first class country, right? We look at a third world country such as Jamaica, where we know there are bad roads, especially the rural areas, you know, right? The rural areas got worse since Hurricane Melissa destroyed some parishes. We know it will take some time to get most of those roads repaired. But come on, man. We're talking about Britain, a first world, first class country. Such a problem of local roads are filled with potholes. The annual study found that local roads are being resurfaced on average every 97 years, up to 93, up from 93. These roads must be well done to serve all these years. So we know, the time has come for these roads to be repaired, but it's not. Almost half of local roads, 49% in England and Wales, are set to crumble and becomes unstable within the next 15 years, while 1 in 6 will do so within the next 5 years. The Daily Mail said workers were attacked every day, either verbally or physically. The people who are actually out there repairing the roads. They're also being shouted at, spat at, and even being hit with objects because of the frustration of the people and the condition of the roads they use daily. I did this story to highlight these things because the narrative is first class countries such as England and Wales. Everything is good and dandy. But it goes to show that in some areas it's worse than other little third world country like Jamaica. Please do not think things is better in these countries. Sometimes it's worst. You know, especially in the third world country where we talk about, roads are bad and the roads won't get fixed and, the whole works. But, we're looking at these first class countries like England and other countries. We're expecting roads to be, money spent, keep roads nice and, looking, you know, you have a good drive wherever you go. But, it's not like that. It's the same where you go. Money problem, not fixing the road, cutting corners and all these things. So I hope they will get their road fixed and get past this problem. And because people are frustrated, especially motorists who has to drive on these local roads and stuff, and it's damaging their vehicles. So hope they will get to it and fix it. Okay. Let's move on to the next story. This story is also out of Britain. Police chief pledged new era of transparent to the public to combat misinformation. On the 16th of March, it was announced that officers of all ranks will be actively encouraged to speak to journalists, providing more information about major investigation and prosecutions to combat rumors and misinformation damaging public trust. The police force will have to consider releasing releasing a suspect nationality and ethnicity on arrest, providing regular updates in inquiries, and being more open about police conducts. The police force agrees to publish photographs of all criminals handed custodial sentence for the first time. What began as a vital corrective measures to the abuse of power by police officers also had unintended consequences. A police service that withdraws from public communication risks losing the very thing it relies upon to police by consent trust. When information flows well between policing and journalists, the publics benefit. This is a good move for the police force. I hope other police forces and services adopt this type of thing that they're implementing with the public with transparency and trust. This will benefit all law-abiding citizens. Yeah, so transparency, and trust goes a long way between police and citizens. Also, it goes a long way, you know, with other people and so forth, right? So when the police they are very transparent, right? It helps the public because the public will see that well, they're not hiding anything. They're open. They will give you information. They will keep you up to date. They let you know what is going on because the journalists, that's their job. They have to publish. They have to know what's happening so they can put it out there for the public. 'Cause we know, most police services, they withhold stuff until when they're almost completing their investigation. Then that's the time they come out and they tell the public something. But the journalist's job is to get information here and there, but make sure they're getting the correct and the right information, so the public can be aware, public can know what's going on. And I hope other police services adopt this principle. Okay, last story. This story is coming out of the Big Apple, USA. A story of tragedy. Real bad, real sad. 4 people, including a 3-year-old child, died in a furious fire. On the 16th of March 26, the fire began around 12:30 p.m. and quickly engulfed all 3 floors of a brick building located in the Flushing neighborhood of Queens, New York. 3 desperate residents attempted to escape the inferno by jumping from the top floor of the building, while firefighter rescued personnel trapped on the second floor. The New York Times said, in the middle of the fire, a woman was heard shouting, My kids is still in the apartment. Wow, this is so sad to imagine, you know. She's outside yelling that her kids are in the apartment, which is engulfed with flames, right? He also said it was very desperate. I have kids too, but at the moment there's nothing we could have done because fire have engulfed the building. There no one can go in to save who was left inside the building. Firefighter was there, doing their best, right? First responders performed CPR on several burnt victims on the street outside the building. One witness said, I have never experienced anything like this. I only saw it on television. Experience this made me cry. It is very devastating. The New York Police Department gave an update Monday evening, said that 4 men and 3 women are in stable condition at a local hospital. They also said none of the victims have been publicly identified. 5 firefighters were also hospitalized and are being treated for minor injuries. 2 of them had fallen through a staircase that collapsed after they rushed into the burning building. I cannot thank the firefighters enough for their continuous effort and commitment to save lives. The inferno yielded a massive response of around 230 firefighters and paramedics who rushed to the burning building to save lives and help people to get out of the inferno. I can tell you, man, it's real sad, it's real bad, because some of these buildings, they're there for ages, and the structure of these buildings just depreciate, and they just becomes like a match that once little sparks catch it, everything goes up in flames. Okay, so I just want to give my condolence goes out to the victims, their family and friends, and a speedy recovery for all the injured person who are, um, dealing with minor injuries and still in the hospital and so forth. So, guys, I'm just saying, be careful out there. Be careful. Make sure you have a fire escape drill. It's something that is good to have to plan in your house. If that means if your house is on fire, you and your family have a plan already in mind that you can escape the fire, before it gets worse, right? A fire drill is something that really saves life, right? And it's something that most householder doesn't think of, doing. You have, especially if you have, you're living in building that has more than one level, right? 2, 3 levels, right? Apartment, you know, you're in apartment building with 8, 9, 10, up to 25 levels. You have to have an escape drill, fire drill, so that can help you if something does happen. You know, house catch a fire while you're sleeping, or it caught a fire while you're around. You know, and you have kids and family, especially elderly people around. You have to have a route plan that can save lives, because when these things happen, and people get flustered and running around, and noisier and screaming here and everything, you forget the right thing to do. Okay, so I'm just saying, I'm really sorry for what happened to these families, and just hope the survivors have a speedy recovery. All right, thank you for listening. Please like, share, hit the notification bell, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you soon. Keep safe.